I'm going to try and get out and about. I'm going to cover the trial, not the full trial because it's a many-day, multifaceted trial. But remember Chris Scott? He is the owner of the Whistle Stop Diner in the small town of Mirror, Alberta. Our chief reporter, Sheila Gunn-Reid, has been carrying the heavy burden of that reportage for years now. He was a small town diner, general store. I think he's got a gas station there. Like in a town, Mirror, Alberta, I think is maybe 1,000 citizens. So you don't have a bunch of places to go for basics, for basic groceries, for gas and stuff like that. He probably had the post office outlet there too. And if he shuts down, what do you got to do? You got to go all the way to Red Deer. You got to schlep another hour. So it's such a small town. My high school, Western Canada High School, had 1,800 kids. The town of Mirror, I'd have to Google it. I think it's at 1,000 people. So you live there, you know everybody. You know what's up, you know everybody's business. And yeah, there's Sheila. Throw that on the screen, some B-roll. Sheila went down there and hung out there, and I have not yet been there. It's like an everything store, general store in the old school tradition of it. And it looks like he makes some great burgers too. And that's the thing. Okay, you and I in the big cities, we're used to eating out, but in a place like Mirror, Alberta, there's not a lot of places to go out to eat. I think it might actually just be this place. So imagine that's being shut down. And I think Chris Scott's attitude was, look, I'm going to open up, and people who are scared of this virus, people who obey Theresa Tam and Anthony Fauci and believe everything they think in the media don't have to come. And it could be a matter of personal choice. And I'm sure it divided the town as it divided the nation. But the enforcement officials have pursued him with such a vitriolic vendetta. It's incredible. And the reason I know this is because I've seen some of the disclosure in the legal proceedings against Chris Scott. This is a very long way of saying, instead of just hanging out here at our world headquarters, I'm going to get out in the field. I'm going to go out there. There's an important hearing. I think it's on April 12th in the courthouse in Red Deer, because the government is hiding documents from Chris Scott. And that's the thing. You may know that when you go to court, you have the right to all the evidence that is relevant in the possession of the prosecution, especially exculpatory evidence. That's a fancy way of saying stuff that shows you're innocent. Obviously, the police are going to show you stuff that makes you look guilty. That's no favor to you. But the law requires that if you're being prosecuted, the Crown, that is the prosecution, has to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, police notes, internal emails, wiretaps, everything like that. And they've been hiding it. And in fact, it only came out because at the last hearing, one of the dopey prosecution cops, health cops, said, oh, you wanted all those emails too, where I would come back from the office and banter about what I did, and we would scheme against Chris Scott and try and find out who his landlord was and pressure him, and try and find out who his insurance was and pressure them and pressure his family. Oh, you want that stuff too that shows our prosecutorial misconduct? Oh, duh, I didn't know I had to give you that. Crooked timber. So if I'm not mistaken, on April 12th is the day that Chad Williamson, the rock and roll cowboy lawyer for Chris Scott, demands from a judge that the government be ordered and compelled to live up to their constitutional duty to disclose to Chris Scott all of their dirt, not just on him, which of course they would willingly give, but their own dirty business. And I think it's going to be a very important matter. And I don't know if Sheila's going to be coming down. I'd be thrilled if she came down. We could have one of those Whistle Stop burgers. If you go on the Whistle Stop website, you can find their menu. And they've got this huge burger. It's got to be like a pound of meat. It's almost like, you know, in those B movies where there's a place that if you finish the entire meal within 60 minutes, no one's ever done it. So if you actually do it, it's for free. It's almost that size of a burger, the Whistle Stop burger. Yeah, throw their website on. Anyway, I've not been to the Whistle Stop yet, But for heaven's sakes, if I'm going all the way to Red Deer, yeah, show that. They got some good grub. Can you click on their menu? Like, it's more than just, like, it's a truck stop. It's a cafe. I think it's a gas station. I haven't been there. And if they got the menu, I want to show it because I have been thinking about that giant burger. Okay, maybe their website needs a little bit of tweak. Looks like he's got some merch there. Anyhow, Chris Scott, oh my God, just a rebel. Well, he is a rebel. Absolutely, he's a rebel. Don't worry if you can't find it. Anyways, I've been thinking about this burger for about 2 years. And by the way, I met a couple of guys who flew in to patronize his establishment. They flew in by helicopter. I think Sheila was there when that happened. And I later bumped into those guys. They were so excited about this one business person who was fighting for freedom and keeping his shop open. They literally flew in by chopper to patronize. So if I understand my day correctly, I'm going to be zipping out to Calgary, driving up to Red Deer. I'm going to live tweet from the trial, say hello to Chris Scott, and hopefully get out there to Mirror in person to get me one of them hamburgers and maybe take a second one back to Toronto with me to feed the entire clan. That's a very long way of saying I'm looking forward to getting out in the field and doing a little bit of journalisming.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.